showed you guys and talked to you about this resort, which is, I'm turning this around. It's right behind me. And when I was in school, even though it was a while ago, I learned that this resort was getting awfully close to the ocean because of erosion. And it really was. And before, I moved to Denver in 2002. And so before, or when I moved, this end right here, right there, was feet. The water was within feet of this building, a couple feet. So the thing that one of my professors told us, which was really interesting, was that this resort used to be like hotels, and the owners decided to sell off each unit as condominiums for really, really cheap prices. Why do you think that they would do that? Give you a second to think about it. And so all these people from the North and Midwest came down here and said, oh my gosh, that's a great deal. I'm going to snatch up this condo. And the people who sold it off then, of course, figured that they would get their money out of it because within a short period of time, it would sort of fall into the ocean, which never happened. So when I left for Denver, like I said, the very north end of this building, which is, I'm probably making you guys dizzy and sick, but right here, the water was within just a few feet of this building. So they said it was going to fall into the ocean. But if you look now, this is engineering that's been done here that has been really effective. And I don't know how long it took them to do this, but you can see right behind me that, or right here, that they've built up sand dunes, and that's what these fences right here are for. This isn't part of the engineering plan to keep out erosion, but it's to help build the sand dunes because it traps the sand, sort of like a snow fence actually. It's just like a snow fence out where you guys live. So those are put in place to build the dunes. And so I'll do a little panoramic. What you see behind me is actually facing the ocean. So the ocean's in front of me. And you can see how much sand there is. Look at all those dunes. And look at the distance between that building now, it's a volleyball net for fun, and the ocean. I mean, there was not this much sand when I lived here ever. And I was here all in my 20s, all the way till I was 29. So like from age 19 to 29, there was never this much sand here at this end. So the soft engineering techniques that they have done are building this great amount of dunes, which they're still working on. You can see that these fences over here are almost completely buried in sand, so they're capturing that sand really well, and they're put in place to help stabilize the dunes. I see a little garbage in there, which isn't very nice. But and then they also most likely did dredging, which is where you have, well, we looked at pictures and maybe video of it, or if I haven't shown it, I'll show it in a second, but they probably did dredging where they take those big barges out in the ocean, those boats, and they get like a big pipeline that comes up here from the water and spits sand out to create more shoreline. So this is just crazy to me that there's this much sand here. When I first had the idea of coming here to show you guys this, I thought I was going to be able to sit down and show you, look how close the water has come to this building, but I'm very surprised, which is good. It's a good thing. So, happy day. And those condo owners are probably really happy because they got those condos for a steal, and now look at all this beachfront property that they have access to. So this is just to show you how much sand and shoreline has been built up and how far back that hotel now sits where the water was encroaching 12 years ago, right almost to the doorstep. I mean, one big storm. But here's the sad part about the soft engineering is these dunes could be taken out with one big hurricane. Had Sandy hit here, I don't know what this place would look like, but it would have definitely lost a nice chunk of shoreline. So that's the resort. And here is this is the south end of that resort that I was telling you about. Look at these dunes here. I mean, so they've got these fences in place to help create more, like almost 2 rows of dunes. And if you see how high the ones in the back are, I mean, they're really protecting those homes back there. So that's good. And again, just to give you a reference, that's where the water is. There's my mommy. And there's the back of the beach with the dunes. So good job on soft engineering here. Okay, so this is at the south end of this island. I was at the north end before, and now I'm at the south end, and what you see here is another hard engineering, or we looked at a soft engineering feature before, but this is hard engineering. Does anybody know what this is? There's one here, and there's one right there as well. These are called jetties, and jetties are hard engineering. It's where you have rocks and sometimes boulders that are sometimes they're encased. I don't think these have wire on them. And what they'll do is first of all, they'll absorb the energy from the waves. So of course this area right in here is going to be a lot calmer because they're absorbing wave energy that's hitting them from what you're looking at from the left side. They're coming off the ocean. And they'll change the direction of the waves coming in here and reduce longshore drift. And they create this breakwater, so that's a little bit calmer in here, and you won't have the erosion that happens if they weren't here. So they kind of protect this whole south end of the island that I'm about to pan and show you. And they are often made where channels are, and if you look right here, you'll see there's a channel. Across the water on that far side is called Masonboro Island, which is protected by that jetty in front of it as well. And this is the south end. So if I were to walk over more dunes now, again, more dunes in the past 10 years. If I were to walk over those dunes, we'd be at the end of the Wrightsville Beach island. But those are jetties. Now, I don't see any other hard engineering examples here at this beach or soft engineering. There's no beach renourishment going on by sand dredges or anything like that now at right now at this time of year, but it does usually happen before tourist season, but it costs a lot of money. So this jetty sticks around, and that's a nice thing. People say it's an eyesore though. As the tide comes in, people can get stuck out on the jetty. So as you can see, maybe you can't, but waves are already kind of going over the top there where that guy's fishing. So, but it does help preserve the beach that's here on the shoreline. I just want to give you a closer up shot of the jetty. You can see where how the waves are on. It's actually a pretty calm day, but you might be able to tell a difference between the wave action on the north side of the jetty to the left versus the south side. It's much calmer. And there's this wall that leads out to the rocks there, but that'll get covered up when high tide comes in. But the big rock structure out there that's been through lots of hurricanes and it stays put. Don't do it. And here again you can see a bunch of these little fences here for sand dune stabilization. And it's when sand dunes that will normally shift along the shore because of wind or waves, are kind of held in place here by these fences to help that sand that drifts build up the dunes. They use sand fencing. Sometimes they'll use vegetation, like actually planting shrubs and things like that. And you can see some shrubbery in the back. I don't know if that was planted or not. To help increase the effectiveness of the sand dunes as a defense to erosion. Hey, there's my mom. All right, so I'm at the north end of this beach, and I've talked to you guys about the resort, which is right behind me, right here. that when I was in school a long time ago, like 10 or 15 years ago, they said that Mom, you're all over, you're behind me.